Hello and welcome to Soft Serve. My name is Mads Williams and I am a guide to female sensual energy. Ooh, the art of feminine magnetism. I've been thinking about this so much lately because when you are like a one-man band, when you're on this journey of growing, developing, evolving as a human and really channeling that into your work, there's lots of questions about, okay, well, what do I actually do? What do I help people with? What is the niche or the theme or the area? And I was in a deep conversation with a friend on this. And kind of when you're it, right, when it's you, it can be harder to know or to see it because it's your life. Yeah. And you maybe can't zoom back to the beginning of who you were back then or what's changed or all those things. Once things are integrated, they're just your new normal and that's fucking cool. But in this chat, it was like, oh, it's feminine magnetism. That's the crux of what, I could speak on all the benefits I love. I could speak on why alignment feels so fucking good, why doing sexuality work leads to the greatest intimacy with yourself and another, why it will change your life and bring all this gorgeousness to you. All of that is true. And the thing I can flex now like a light probably is that magnetism. And I've had a series of things that help me solidify what's going on, almost like in the collective or in women or in my tribe. And it's so helpful. It's the guide, really. It's the compass for the work I'm doing and how I do it. And so soft serve will always, 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 always take women on this journey of softly entering the body, this dialogue with the body, all the way up to how do we really deeply connect with our internal sexual magnetism. But by seeing where friends were at or listening to podcasts about people talking about Botox or the complexities of growing up or aging in a culture that perpetuates youthfulness, or holding soft serve in person this season and realizing all the ways the world has damaged our relationship to self-beauty, to self-love, to the feminine essence. And for me, that's what feminine magnetism is. It's stripping back all of the fucking bullshit and noise and stuff that wasn't ours and understanding we get to like ourselves. It's that beautiful meme all over Instagram that's like the most magnetic thing is liking your own energy. It's liking your own essence. And the outside world has done such a good job at beating that out of us, to the point that often our parents or teachers or siblings or peers can even be that voice. And that's because it wasn't shown to be safe for anyone to love themselves the way we're supposed to. And so what ends up happening is that we all try to belong and we all try to protect each other. But instead, we pass along criticism and shame and judgment for taking up all that space to be deeply in ourselves and our essence. And I had this moment where I was staying with a friend who is a mum of two, and she was working, and I took the little one, who's a 5-month-old, out for a walk. And it was super subconscious, but this is what I love. I love being deeply engaged with my reality to see what happens. And then I ponder it and ponder it and ponder it. And then it becomes my teaching or my work, or I think, oh, I need a workshop on that, or whatever it might be. But I was walking through the park and I wasn't in Cornwall, so it was already a change of scenery. And when I used to live in London, I hadn't done this work yet. So I wasn't magnetic. I hid. I looked down. I didn't engage. I wasn't open. My chest wasn't open. My heart wasn't open. I wasn't exuding confidence because, quite frankly, it didn't exist. I didn't know how to be seen, therefore I didn't want to be seen. And so I was back in this setting, and I think sometimes when you're in an old setting, you can go to old settings, like literally like a system, right? Like default settings. So I was already conscious of this happening potentially. And I'm walking around the park and I notice this younger guy. And normally, because of the work I've done and possibly living in Cornwall where people are really friendly and really engaged, I walk through life with a much more open attitude and therefore usually make eye contact or say hello or whatever it might be. And there was this younger guy, and it was like my brain was like, "Oh, why didn't he look at me?" And then it happened again, and it was a dad of 2 young kids, and I was genuinely like, "What's going on? Why didn't he look at me?" And then I had this moment like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a mother. I'm invisible." And that was really jarring, just to kind of have a moment in someone else's shoes and then zoom out and think about how fucked it is that we've, I want to say, desexualized the mothering experience, but I also want to just like sprinkle that with so much nuance. And I don't mean that to objectify. I mean that to me, there is nothing more fucking sexy, sensual, raw than childbirth, than primal screaming and the female power and pain and strength and blood and fluid and life force giving energy that comes through. Like, that's where I'm at with feminine energy. Like, to me, that is fucking bottle that up, and it's the most sexual thing I've ever fucking smelt, seen, witnessed, and by witnessed, I mean around me, not for me to have actually lived that experience. But it's a big part of the remembering of what the truth of the feminine magnetism is. It's not, "Oh, now that I've had these children, I don't get to be witnessed." It's like, let me be fucking witnessed in my full power. So I clocked it like, "Oh, that sucks. What a fucked up society we live in." And I thought, not on my watch. Let's shift this." So I rolled my shoulders back. I put myself back in my core, almost like switching on a flick, right? Like switching on a light, went like, "Okay, I'm here now. I'm ready to be witnessed." And I want to preface that by saying, just like if you had a really strong physical body and then you had to pick up a box, you would know how to activate your core strength. You would know how to sink into that squat. You would know how to activate your quads. That's what this is. I'm not just asking you to walk around and think positive and be magnetic. You can do that. That's fucking beautiful. Our inner dialogue is always there. So you might as well flex it with something beautiful. But it's the consistent behaviors that are actually really fucking simple, that build time and time again, day in, day out, and change the way you see yourself, talk to yourself, and therefore feel about yourself, that mean flicking that switch is even an option. And so I did that. And then as a little social experiment, walked past these 2 men together. And I was like, okay, there I am. I could see it. I could see it in whatever, their energy, how they'd absorbed it. My final experiment of that morning was there had been this cute guy who was probably similar age to me walking a dog. And I was leaving the park and I pulled over to write a little message, and I had the baby carrier on my front, pram in front of me, baby in the pram, but really in my own essence. Shoulders back, texting, just being myself. And he smiled at me and I smiled with real openness. And then we had that lingering moment of ooh, we were really in each other's dance. We were really in each other's orbit. And I just loved it because it was that just goes to show it has nothing to do with logic. Oh, there's a mum, probably has a partner, probably unavailable. It was my energy was signaling availability, openness, magnetism, youthfulness in the way that I mean playfulness and alive, not fucking 25 with a Botox forehead. So we get to dance in that. We get to switch that on. We get to play with that. And maybe this is annoying you. Maybe this is triggering. And like, fucking good. I'm really here for changing the narrative that only certain people get to be like this, get to feel like this. This is an inside job. Normally, I think what we need is way more self love and compassion. But I do genuinely believe majority of the world's running around with a victim mindset and we don't even know we're doing it. That's why I like investigating all of our belief systems that are operating under the surface. Oh, I can't have that because. Oh, it's easy for her because. Whatever that fucking because is, that needs to be obliterated because your freedom is on the other side of that. And not just your freedom, your fucking joy. Your joy. So it was a really cool social experiment that essentially led me between these podcasts where I hear women in deep confusion about what to do. Do they join the rat race of cosmetic surgery or not? It's like, that's not even the conversation. It's like, there are so many steps before that. How do we even connect to ourselves rather than connecting to a needle or an injection? I want to be having that conversation. Holding women with soft serve in my physical space was so amazing to be able to drop into the false stories that are existing in our beings, in our bodies. It's that notion the body keeps the score. What stories are literally circling? And it made it very clear, okay, I need to be working with women pre-sexuality as well. I need to be working with women on how do we tap into this cellular memory, the DNA of our system, so we can begin swirling in the Aphrodite energy. We can begin embodying the goddess. We can begin activating magnetism. And then there's the sexuality work. You know, for some people, they'll be ready for both. They'll be like, yep, sign me up to soft serve. I'm ready to go. I want the full thing. But that's what's been cooking for me. I'm like, we need a precursor. We need a precursor because we're in these bodies for the rest of our lives. And I want women to know how to be in them, to enjoy being in them, to be kind to them. And so that's what I'm going to do. So watch this space. Watch this space. I need to get some workshops going online, in person in London. Soft Serve will be running late September. So feminine magnetism is something you're interested in. Please DM me or you can email me and I'll put you on a wait list and you can be the first to know about when this launches in person or online. And Soft Serve, like I said, is there for the person who's ready to just have the full taster up front. Okay, I'm going to keep it really short today. It's just nice to be back in the pool of recording and speaking to you. If you watch this, I'm so sorry. I barely made eye contact. If I'm listening to what is being spoken to me, I can't actually focus on anything. I haven't done that before on the podcast because it's a slightly different brain. It's actually like the brain switches off and then I'm just the channel and listening. But that's to explain that. A little taster of if you come to an in-person event. And the reason for that is there's so much truth in the frequency of our words that I can hear if I'm not focusing on the visuals. We are all so fucking complex and perfect and beautiful and amazing. And that's what this work does. That's what human design does. That's what being in touch with your truth does. That's what stripping all the interference of alcohol and drugs and coffee even, or, just interference or friends that don't serve you or a busy world or AirPods or music. That's what getting back in touch with your natural state can do. It can tap on these like really amazing superpowers, which also leads to the magic of magnetism. That one's probably one for another day. But if that's kind of what you're drawn towards, that is available to you. The more we can be out of distraction and in listening, however that comes to you, the more we are in touch with the truth of our soul, the truth of our essence. And that's really fucking cool. Okay, I love you all. I will speak to you soon, sending huge love and happy magnetism. I can't wait to introduce you to these new workshops. Bye.